Wow, that was incredibly intense and emotional. You really pulled me into Jacob's grief, betrayal, and that hollow, aching sense of injustice he feels. The way the funeral and reception scenes are written, with such vivid sensory details, the untouched casseroles, the white roses, the cold glass of the picture frame, it makes everything heartbreakingly real. You also did an amazing job balancing Jacob's internal emotions, sadness, rage, numbness, without making him seem melodramatic. It feels raw and authentic, and the build-up of tension with Claire's betrayal and the smug defensiveness of Diana makes me desperately want to know what Jacob is going to do next. Are you planning to continue this story? Because I'd love to see what Jacob's next move is. Will it be revenge, closure, something else? Wow, that was intense. You're weaving a devastating and gripping story here. It's packed with raw emotion, betrayal, and a mounting sense of justice. The way you build Jacob's anger and grief into something sharp and directed is so good. You really made me feel his transformation from broken to determined. And Mia? What a perfect way to throw gasoline on the fire and kick off the next stage. Plus the revelation that Diana and Howard were involved. Brutal. Perfectly brutal. It feels like you're setting up for an all-out battle. Legal, emotional, personal. I have to ask, are you planning for Jacob to go through a legal route to take Claire and her family down? Or are you thinking something even darker? I'd love to hear what you have in mind. I can help you map out the next few big scenes if you want. It looks like you have a powerful, intense story unfolding here, but it cuts off at the very end. But this wasn't. Would you like me to help you continue from where it stops? Here's a smooth continuation picking up right at but this wasn't. But this wasn't just about stopping a sale. It was about exposing every lie they had spun, every betrayal they had dared to commit. Claire's smile faltered, a flash of panic crossing her face. Diana leaned forward, her voice dripping with false calm. Jacob, let's not make a scene. We can discuss this privately. No, I said, my voice steady and loud enough to turn the heads of everyone in the office. We're doing this here, now. The realtor shifted uncomfortably, sensing the tension. I turned to him, sliding one of the documents across the table. This is a forged signature, I said clearly. And here's proof of a pattern of coercion and deceit. Marcus, walking in behind me at just the right moment, added, We've filed an injunction. Any sale proceeding from this point would be considered fraud, and you, sir, he said, addressing the realtor, could be held legally accountable if you move forward. The room went silent except for the shuffle of papers. Claire's face was draining of color. Diana opened her mouth to protest, but Marcus cut her off. I suggest you get a lawyer, he said sharply. I stood tall, feeling the weight of the past few months lift slightly off my shoulders. I wasn't just fighting for myself anymore. I was fighting for my family, for Noah, for everything that mattered. Claire rose from her chair, her mask slipping, revealing the fury underneath. You think this changes anything? She spat. I met her gaze without flinching. No, I said. I know it does. As I turned to leave, I felt the stuffed penguin shift in my briefcase. A tiny, steadfast reminder that even in the darkest battles, love was my greatest weapon, and I wasn't done yet. Would you like me to also help you polish the whole piece for even stronger flow and pacing? I can do that if you want. Would you also want a version that's slightly more thriller-like or courtroom drama style? Wow, that was intense and honestly incredible storytelling. You captured a raw, emotional, and relentless confrontation and followed it with a hard-fought, deeply satisfying victory arc. Here's a quick breakdown of what stands out: pacing and tension. The way you kept the pressure on during the confrontation, short, sharp dialogue, physical reactions like slamming the table, the realtor sweating, made it very gripping. Character. Unraveling. Claire and Diana going from smug to terrified felt real and earned. You didn't rush it. You let them fall apart piece by piece. Emotional stakes. It wasn't just about money or property. You rooted it in Noah's memory, so every twist felt personal and painful, not just technical. Legal fallout. The courtroom paperwork stuff didn't feel dry because you showed how each discovery hit Jacob emotionally and how it dismantled Claire's family. Resolution. The ending was bittersweet but honest. Jacob wins. But healing is still ahead. Perfectly true to life. Would you like me to help you polish this into a fully finished short story, maybe tighten a few sentences, sharpen emotional beats even more? Or would you want help shaping it into something even bigger, like the opening chapters of a novel? Which way are you feeling? Facing the consequences of their actions brought a deep, bittersweet stillness, the kind that settles only after a storm has passed, leaving behind its scars. Noah's room was exactly as he had left it. His favorite stuffed penguin sat neatly on the bed, its worn seams a testament to countless hours of love. The colorful drawings taped to the walls remained untouched. And for a moment, I could almost hear his laughter echoing through the room. I sat on the edge of the bed, cradling the penguin, letting the memories flood over me. The court's decision had ensured the house would stay in the family, but by then, it wasn't just about bricks and mortar. It was about preserving Noah's legacy, protecting what he had cherished and ensuring his memory meant more than just grief. That's why I took the life insurance payout, every penny CLA had tried to steal, and founded the Noah Thompson Foundation. It would fund pediatric cancer research and support families walking the same hard road we had traveled. It felt right, like something Noah would have wanted. Compassion had been his superpower, even on his hardest days. The foundation's first. Grant went to the pediatric cancer ward where Noah had spent so much of his time. I visited the hospital, met the families it would help, and for the first time in what felt like forever, I felt a flicker of hope. Noah's name would live on, not just in my heart, but in the lives he continued to touch. But moving forward didn't mean forgetting. On a crisp fall morning, I made my way to the cemetery. The air was sharp and clean, the leaves crunching underfoot. Noah's headstone was simple, just as he would have wanted, with a small engraving of a penguin tucked into the corner. I knelt down, brushed away a few stray leaves, and placed the stuffed penguin at the base of the stone. "You'd be proud, buddy," I whispered. "The house is safe. The foundation's up and running. Your memory is helping so many people. I promised I'd fix it, and I did." The wind stirred the trees, and for a moment, I could almost feel Noah's spirit woven into the world around me. My father approached, his steps slow but steady. His memory wasn't as sharp as it once was, but today his eyes were clear. "He's at peace now," he said quietly, his voice steady. "I hope so," I replied, my throat tightening. He reached down to touch the penguin, his hand lingering on its worn fabric. "Noah told me something once," he said, voice thick with emotion, "not long before he passed. He said, 'Don't worry about Dad. He's stronger than everyone thinks.'" I swallowed hard, tears blurring my vision. "He said that?" I asked. My father nodded, a faint smile touching his lips. "He was right, you know." We stood there, together, the silence heavy with love and grief. A monarch butterfly fluttered down and landed on the headstone, its wings catching the sunlight like shards of stained glass. My father instinctively reached out, but I gently caught his hand. "Let it be," I said softly. The butterfly took flight, spiraling upward, free and unburdened. I watched it until it disappeared, feeling something shift inside me. True strength, I realized, wasn't in fighting or winning. It was in letting go. I slipped my arm around my father's shoulders and steered him gently back toward the car. "Pancakes?" I asked, a smile breaking through. His face lit up with rare clarity. Pancakes, he said, the memory bright in his voice. Noah always loved pancakes. Yes, he did, I said, warmth and sorrow twining together in my heart. As we walked away, I glanced back at the penguin standing guard by the headstone. Not just a symbol of Noah, but a reminder of everything we had fought to protect. The butterfly had shown me the way. Moving forward wasn't about erasing the pain. It was about honoring the love that came with it. And as I drove home with my father beside me, the heavy weight of the past finally began to lift. Noah was gone, but his spirit remained, lighting the path ahead. It wasn't triumph. It was survival. And for the first time in a long time, survival was enough. Would you like me to also format it into a more novel-style version, with paragraph breaks and dialogue tags if you're thinking of publishing or sharing it?